All right, everyone. Are we ready? Can you hear me? Everyone can hear me. Everyone can see. Lighting's good. All right. With that, I'd like to get started and introduce the 60th Mayor of Dallas, Eric Johnson.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank. Good afternoon. We are here today because as we build for our city's future, we must build a city for all. And that means we must ensure that everyone has a seat at the table. We talk a lot about that here at City Hall, about providing equity and inclusion. We talk about ensuring that everyone in our city has an opportunity for success. We talk about how we are and strive to be a welcoming city. And usually we're talking about skin color, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, gender identity, sexual orientation, and even age. But rarely do we talk in any great detail about how we provide for those who live with disabilities in our city. This isn't an issue that is just about our aging population who do have a voice already in our city through our Senior Affairs Commission. In fact, in Dallas, nearly 7% of our under 65 population lives with some disability. That's over 80,000 people, which is more than the entire populations of some of our nearby cities, such as Flower Mound and Rowlett, DeSoto. For those who live with a disability, that can mean facing myriad challenges living in a big city like ours, challenges that the rest of us can't fully comprehend or appreciate. Many of us might know someone who deals with these challenges, a friend or a family member, an elderly relative, or maybe one of our neighbors. And that's why today, in this first full week of National Disability Employment Awareness Month, I'm announcing that I will push to pass an ordinance to establish our first ever commission on disabilities here in this city. And while it would be the first ever official city commission, it's important to note that we're picking up on work that's gone on in the past in the city and actually has continued for many years. In fact, one of my predecessors as mayor, Jack Evans, who was actually the last mayor to be born in the city of Dallas before I took office, if you can believe that, formed the Dallas Mayor's Committee for the Employment of People with Disabilities back in 1982. By taking that step, Mayor Evans helped make Dallas a national leader on these issues. His committee remained active over the years, as I mentioned, and is now known as Employability Dallas, which is devoted to diversifying our city's workforce and making this a more equitable place in which to work. And separately, just a couple of weeks ago, we again expanded our city's homestead exemption for our disabled residents. But there's more that we can do in the public sector. Through this proposed ordinance, which the city attorney's office has drafted at my request, this new commission shall be responsible for advising and making recommendations to myself, the city council, city department directors, and others regarding the full spectrum of needs, rights, and privileges of people with disabilities. With this purview, they can ensure that our parks, our housing, our libraries, our city facilities, our transit, and our neighborhoods are friendly to people of all abilities. City staff support and resources will be dedicated to this formal commission if the City Council takes this step to pass this proposed ordinance, and I personally believe that they will. The first step for this ordinance will be for the City Council's Workforce, Education, and Equity Committee to take up this matter. I'm proud to work with my newly named chairwoman, Janie Schultz, to make this commission a reality. Together, we can make Dallas once again a national leader in providing equity for all of our residents. And in doing so, we're going to build a better future for this city. So with that, I want to say thank you to all of you for being here and turn it over to my colleague and the very capable brand new chairwoman of the Workforce Education and Equity Committee, Janie Schultz. Chairwoman Schultz.
Thank you, Mayor Johnson, for the opportunity to participate in this important act of social justice. I'm truly grateful for this privilege of working with you on behalf of all of our residents. This is an important issue. All of the people of Dallas are able, but each of us are blessed with different abilities. That's what makes us unique. Our differences should be celebrated and supported, and we at City Hall should serve the needs of everyone based on equity and opportunity. The creation of this commission will assist all of us in hearing the voices of those too often ignored. We will better understand those with diverse abilities, better support those with special needs, and learn from those who deserve our respect for working with challenges we do not face. And when my colleagues and I at the City Hall, my colleagues and I at City Council pass this ordinance, we will be striving to do more and do better, to create new jobs that serve a range of abilities, to think creatively in overcoming access issues, and to design programs that support overcoming addiction, and to create equitable housing, equitable communications, and the utilization of all available funding from federal, state, and local levels. This commission is also an opportunity to hold ourselves and our city management accountable for ensuring that success is attainable for all by focusing our attentions on the needs, rights, and privileges of people with disabilities. As the chair of the Workforce Education and Equity Committee, I can confidently say that change is tangible, history is in the making, and today is the start of a better tomorrow for our city and its residents. Thank you again, Mayor Johnson. I look forward to working with you. And now I'd like to turn it over to Michael Quezada, the chair of Employability.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mayor Johnson, fellow board members, and distinguished guests. It is an honor to stand before you today as the chair of Employability and as a disabled veteran to help the mayor launch the observance of a National Disability Employment Awareness Month, also known as NDEAM. This national campaign raises awareness about disability employment issues and celebrates the many contributions of America's workers with disabilities. Born and raised here in the great city of Dallas, I chose to join the military shortly after high school. 22 years later, I chose to retire in 2011, transitioned my title from military officer to civilian and disabled veteran. I immediately understood the barriers and the stigma associated with having a disability and seeking employment, not only for those that have disabilities, but in general, because of the new processes and policies and the evolution of hiring processes. It was quite confusing for a veteran that had been in the military for 22 years, and so I made it a priority to help others that have challenges as they start to enter the workforce, or if they want to enter the workforce and they have a disability, or if they require resources. I wanted to serve the city of Dallas, where I come from and where I always took pride in being from. Employability started out as the Dallas Mayor's Committee for employment for people with disabilities under, again, Mayor Jack Wilson. I can tell you that we have a lot of pride in our nonprofit. We make it a habit of constantly discussing how we can engage more with the community and discover new ways to find organizations that are interested in hiring people with disabilities. Some of the common challenges that we see today here in the city of Dallas for job seekers with disabilities include a general lack of employment opportunities, poor access to physical structures, the recruitment information, discrimination on the basis of disability, or poor perception of capacities of persons with disabilities. Overall, what I found after retiring from the military and serving in a role where I get to work with advocates and companies, I find that people with disabilities, they just don't want a handout. They want a job. Our mission is their vision. Their barriers are our barriers. Their challenge is our challenge. In the interactions I've had a chance to grow in a positive way and learn more through my board members, working with organizations that advocate for people with disabilities. While growth and positive change occur in this dynamic city, we must also keep in mind that there is a national labor shortage right now. At this very moment, there is a national labor shortage across our nation and large cities like the city of Dallas. And from airlines to hotels to restaurants and rideshare and hospitals. This is the perfect opportunity to strike while the iron's hot. Companies need workers. People with disabilities need jobs. So I say in closing, I hope that our new partnership with the mayor and the city of Dallas will strengthen our engagement efforts as a board, allow us efforts to connect with the businesses in Dallas and work with those who really, truly want to advocate for those with disabilities and really want people that have the skill sets, special skill sets, that they haven't tapped into. Now is the time. We can create a better workforce, break down those barriers, and just have a conversation. It's that simple. So I say to you before I leave, as a former Sunset High School graduate, my principal used to say to us, "Sí se puede." Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And I can tell you today that looking at each and every one of you here today, knowing that you are all advocates, I can say with confidence, yes, we will. Thank you, Mayor, and for your vision. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
All right, do we have any questions? No questions. Well, all right, well, thank you all for coming. I guess we'll probably take some pictures, and thanks all. Oh, we have a question. Will there be any, are you talking about for the commission specifically, or whether the commission will have money to allocate? Okay. The question is whether the commission will have money to operate.
If this commission is formed by ordinance, and I'm counting on my very capable chairwoman here to get us an ordinance passed through her committee and then through the full council, then it will become an official board and commission of the city of Dallas, and it will be staffed and supported the way all of our city boards and commissions are staffed and supported, which means public meeting space will be available, the expertise and the knowledge of city staff will be available as a resource. The city attorney's office will staff the meetings as well to make sure that everything's done in accordance with the law. So it would elevate this issue to the level of a city priority. Certainly it's a priority of ours. I think I can speak for Chairwoman Schultz, and she shares my view that this is important. And so yes, it would go from being something that's informal or something outside of the city to something that would be housed within the city. Each council person would get a chance, if it were to pass in the way that I'm hoping, each council person would have an opportunity to appoint someone from the community to serve on this board. So that's how it would work.
All right. Seeing no other questions. Oh, we do. Yeah. So we'll have someone to come talk to you. All right. Well, thank you all very much.
Sunset Bison.